ahead, Gary.
Did y'all have a chance to look at that on the casing on the pipeline?
I did, thank you for sending that to me, and I forwarded that on to Isaac Castro, and, we're reviewing that, and actually today is a temporary water line, it's not the gas line, what the policy we're working on, but, there was a lot of good information in that, and if you wanna explain it to the other commissioners or to the court, what y'all's thoughts are on that, go right ahead.
Yes, what it is, when you put a permanent gas line underneath the county road or whatever, we don't even do it on the state highways. Because what it does, it affects our cathodic protection. When you put that metal casing that metal pipeline into a casing, it creates moisture and everything else, and then all you're doing then is creating corrosion on the outside and the inside. And we also put a cathodic protection on there to keep corrosion from happening. And when you do that, we can't put any, it won't work when you put it in that casing.
So, some of that stuff you sent me said that one of my reasons for the case is for third-party damage, so what is your feelings about that and not having the casing for protection if somebody hit it? Is there any difference with that thicker wall pipe than having a casing in your belief, or?
Yes, sir, the thicker wall pipe will keep your roads from, mashing the pipe or anything else, cause that, mainline casing is thinner than that, road bore pipe. And we also put and it's deep enough, the only way you're gonna hit it is if you're digging, 7, 8, 10 foot, and that's gonna be on anything that you do. But, everything that we put in, I can show y'all the boring, profiles of everything we put in, and we'll be within an inch or two of every one of them on the depth. We may be a little over or maybe a little bit under, just a couple of inches. And I've got them on every one of y'all's roads that we bored under. And, I can show them to you and show you exactly how deep every one of yours are.
Well, they normally go depth wise?
Y'all require 4 foot in the ditch, and the road's usually higher than the ditch. So we're usually anywhere from 6 to 8 foot below your ditch line, the bottom of your ditch line. Just for that purpose, for when y'all clean them out or anything like that, cause it's also a good idea for us to do that for our safety, so that you don't hit the line. The deeper we can get it, the better off we are.
Just for future use, like we have water lines and stuff all across, been there for 100 years or 50 years or whatever, and they might have been real deep when they put them in, but now they're right on top of the ground over the years, erosion and what have you, and as long as you got it that deep, I guess that'd probably last a long time, or in our lifetime anyway.
Yes, sir. And usually, whenever we go out and line find for anybody that's crossing our line, or we're trying to locate it, we have locators that, locate machines that can tell us how deep that line is. And, we also, we hydrovac everything before somebody goes under it, or goes over it, or whatever they call us they're gonna do. We hydrovac it to make sure it is the depth that we tell them it is.
So you actually physically see it then?
Yes, sir, we actually, anybody that we even go under, we can tell you exactly how deep that line is. If we're on your road and we're boring and somebody comes out and locates our lines, we can tell you exactly how deep their line is, because we hydrovac it before we ever even excavate it, or before we ever bore under it. Whether it's a fiber optic line, a gas line, a water line, anything that we do. Or if it's somebody else's gas line, I can tell you how deep it is, because we always make sure we put our eyes on it to make sure. And, on that boring rig, it's got a locator on the end of it, and we have a box that we located all the way across your line, even in the ditches. And the next one that we do, we can give y'all a heads up the day before, tell you what time, You know, we'll give you the 48 hour, but I can tell you exactly what time we're gonna start, and I can carry you through it from start to finish.
Like on these, poly lines, the salt water lines that are across our roads, y'all able to find them or with the
Sometimes-
tester, or you just gotta dig it up?
Sometimes people tell us they're there, sometimes people don't. We try to locate everything, and to the best of our ability and the best of our knowledge, that, you know, that we're looking for. And we hydrovac it before, if we know it's there, we hydrovac it before we ever bore or ever dig either one, whether it's on the road or the landowner. It has to be a line, you know, you have to be able to physically see it before you can dig it.
Right.
Even on our lines, if we're digging close to one of our own lines, we make sure that we hydrovac it to make sure that we know where it's at and how deep it is. To make sure there is no foul up.
Right.
And at first, you know, we're boring under your road and you know there's utilities there and you're kinda worried about, well, how deep is this line? If we're boring right there back, we come out there, we can show it to you. We can tell you exactly how deep it is. We have a foreign line report we fill out every time we cross one, tell how deep it is. We take a tape measure, take pictures of it, make sure it's not damaged before we cover it up. And if it's another gas company or somebody, they want it recoated, we sandblast it and recoat it so that they don't have any flaws in their coating. Cause every time you get something like on our lines or anybody's, if you damage that coating, all you're doing is causing static on it and it just sitting there pecking on it. So it causes corrosion. We make sure that it don't. And like I say, if there's any time that we can help y'all, we're more than willing to help y'all any way we can.
Okay.
You can call me anytime, day or night.
Y'all gonna start notifying us before y'all start
Yes,
on these projects?
48 hours. You will get an email and a phone call.
Okay, sounds good. I appreciate you trying to work with us, Gary, and get this worked out where we can move forward.
Yes, sir, and from here on out, if y'all have a problem, call me, I'll be glad to help you any way I can. If you have a question, I may not know all the answers, but if I don't, I know where I can get the answer for you.
Appreciate that.
And I'll be willing to do whatever I can to help the county and help y'all.
Yeah, I think you got a couple applications waiting for us to
Yes,
get something done, aren't you? So we need to get something going on this deal, where y'all can move on.
Yes, sir. We're kinda held up right now, you know, we stopped the project because, you know, we don't have the permits to drill underneath your roads. But we could've went on with it, but we'd had to leave bell holes open, and all that is a liability, and we just don't, if it's gonna cause us a liability, we just don't do it.
Right.
As producers, that's their thing, you know, they do not want no liability whatsoever, that's something we can prevent. To y'all, or to the landowner, or to anybody else. We have a big safety program about this.
Yeah.
And our safety is, anytime you have a safety issue, we have a head safety man, and we can get any answer we need from him. We're more willing to help too.
That casing that goes underneath the road said it's thicker. It's thicker than where it just runs across a pasture, something like that?
Yes, it's because of your, you know, y'all got a lot of big trucks running down these county roads. If I put that in the ground, if you got a 2-track road like the wind farm,
No.
I put heavier casing pipe underneath there to keep it from having any problems. And that's an extra expense to us, but we feel like it's a better alternative than letting something happen to it.
What is the difference between the gauge?
Yes,
of the road
it's
and
just the
others?
thickness of the pipe.
Yeah.
You know, there's no difference any on holding the pressure that we hold, but on far as weight wise, thicker pipe is better on roads.
How thick is it usually? Just
It's, according to what size pipe we're running. You know, bigger the pipe, you know, the thicker we'll have it, you know. It's just according to what the situation is. They got pipe any thickness you want it, really. You know, it's usually 250. Well, you know, on this small pipe, but, you know, you can go up to even, if you go 24, 38, 36 inch pipe, you know, you're looking at 500 wall, 1,000 wall. But we don't put anything in like that.
Y'all got any more questions for Gary?
No.
But the only thing is on that casing, when you put steel pipe into it, you stop the, cathodic protection on it. To keep it from corroding, lasting long. Cause it's gonna let moisture in it. It's gonna sweat, and then it's, maybe even your groundwater go in.
That gives us something to think about for sure, and we're overlooking all that material you sent our way too, trying to get second opinion on all that, but,
Yes, sir. And like I say, even on the state highway, we do not use any casing. You know, if it's an interstate or anything else, we still don't use casing on steel pipe. We do. It's rule of thumb, anything poly, yes, you use casing and beams. Anytime you're putting in poly. I thank y'all for your time.
thank you for coming, Gary, thank you for explaining that.
And if anybody needs any of them, I printed off some of them.
Okay.
If any of y'all need them, then
All right.
they can get the email.
Alright. Go to line item number 1, approve temporary water line policy. Isaac Castro worked on this, he didn't have much time, he sort of worked on it, I think, over the weekend too, and we just received it, and, this is the first draft for us to review and, see if there's any changes need to be made, and I see a couple of them that probably ought to be made in this thing. I emailed Isaac the stuff that Gary sent me on Friday, so he didn't have a lot of time to incorporate that, and I think he did incorporate some of that stuff in this temporary water line also. That was in that information, but, it might be just a little more than what we need on just a temporary water line, so. With this gave us a good draft to go over, I think we need to review it and, see what changes we need to make to this and come back to the next meeting and, represent this and get it approved before we can move forward with this thing, but.
Make a motion to table it then.
All right.
Second.
Motion by Dexter and second by Kevin. All in favor, it's approved. Carried, motion carries. Alright, line item number 2. Is rescind, order number 8 from Commissioners Court meeting on April 13th to 20. And what this is back in April of 2020, I actually made this motion because, we had a lot of these pipelines coming through here, and we were having to wait till every commissioner's meeting to have these approved, so we got a couple of complaints that it was taking too long and we was holding things up, so I brought it up to the court to try to speed things up, and anyway, it didn't work out the way it was designed, so, we're gonna rescind this motion today, or ask the court to make a motion to rescind this, and go back to the previous, where everything that's done comes through Commissioner's Court. It don't matter if it's a pipeline or a windmill agreement, everything that comes through Commissioner Court, that'll stop a lot of this backdoor deals going on up here, I think, so it would be for public transparency, it'd be a whole lot better on everything, so. Do I have a motion to rescind order number 8?
Didn't you make the motion, you got to make the motion to rescind it, or?
Well, Ben, I made the motion, I will make the motion to rescind order number 8 from Commissioners Court meeting on April 13th of 2020.
I'll second.
Alright. Motion made by Kevin, second by Dexter, it's unanimous, carries. Alright. Line item number 3, approve contractual agreement for legal services with the law office of Isaac M. Castro. Dexter and I, we went over and visited with, Isaac for a little bit last week, and, it was a breath of fresh air to just sit there and talk to an attorney about county business and not being yelled at or threatened, and he came up with a lot of common sense solutions to resolve a lot of these issues that, I think he's gonna be great for the county. Do I have a motion to approve the contract for Isaac Castro? Motion by Dexter,
Second.
second by Kevin. So all in favor, it's unanimous, passes. Do I have a motion to close the adjourn? Motion by Dexter, second by Kevin, all unanimous, motion closed, adjourn.